So hi and welcome to my channel, Hisame Artwork. Gonna pop out the chat windows while it's loading. So also I will check loading. I guess that one's working. Hi Dracarys, can you hear me okay? Page 22, where are you? There it is. Well, what? Can you see and hear everything okay? Seconds in only. Yeah, sorry for the delay in the start of the stream. It's been a busy day for me, very eventful. They had to repair some of the plumbing. So it wasn't most fun. Okay, so this is page 22 and I'm going to color now. A comic page. So in this page Niels sneaks in to get some clean clothes. And of course Marie is not agreeing with this because it's theft. And she's kind of going to cry out, "Oh, this is not a video game, don't steal somebody else's clothes." And he's like, "I'm only going to borrow them." Herpa derp, what does that mean? Okay, select that. Come on, select it. Oh, it's selecting in the wrong layer. I don't know, it seems like Clip Studio Paint doesn't always respond to keyboard shortcuts immediately. Sometimes I have to press repeatedly before it takes the command, which is really odd. Like, there are a lot of things that Clip Studio Paint does, mysterious things. Like, for some reason it takes the vector line art from above and only colors that piece. I mean, it's really convenient, but I guess it takes a bit of use to get into its system. And the new page, I'm going to color. I'm really looking forward to finishing the first pages, and I'm gonna have my first issue, 26 pages long. No, I wanted this for the belt. Back of the heel. So, how have you been, Dracarius? How's it going? I'm getting close to the day when we're going to leave the US and go back to East Europe. Very, very good. Oh, I'm happy for you. So, pretty soon I'm gonna have to go through the whole packing uh, process again. Throw out my old clothes because I can't take all of them with me, or donate them or something. The one from Infinity Train. I don't know what Infinity Train is. Can you tell me? So the dog is a Pembroke Corgi breed. So Pembroke Welsh Corgi. Kind of like the ones that the Queen has. So that was a sketch. I'll call this one background and give it a blue color. I will show a pic. Show me a pic. Okay, wait, I have to make you a moderator so that you can post links, otherwise YouTube is not gonna let you post any links. There we go. So on the panel layer, select this and give it a mask. There we go, you're a moderator now. You only gave me part of the link. I'm gonna wait for you to give me the full one. There we go. Aha. Yeah, I think this one's a corgi too. I mean, it looks like a corgi. But I don't know from what video game or cartoon this is. Train, Infinity Train, let's see. Infinity Train. Oh, so it seems to be a Cartoon Network show. Yeah, I haven't watched Cartoon Network in a very, very long time. Just because I haven't seen anything worth looking at there. The pilot, yeah. There are a lot of video games with corgis from what I've seen. So the character only appeared in the pilot. Oops, wrong layer. Now selected. And get all of those artifacts there. Actually, I'm gonna close my I don't know how it's called in English. I don't remember. But there we go. So I can see better. It was light coming into my screen. The sun is going down. It's not Cartoon Network yet. I hope it goes to Netflix instead. Um, yeah, I don't know what Netflix's policies have been. Like I know Nickelodeon does a lot of crap, so it's not exactly success if you're on Nickelodeon. I mean, you get the audience, but the management is so notoriously crappy that like I personally would prefer maybe another company that has less of a bad reputation of how they treat their creators, the people who actually come up with the ideas and do the work and everything like that. TTG is terrible. Tawog is great. I don't know what TTG is, neither do I know what Tawog. Are they like cartoon channels? Adventure Time is awesome. Yeah, it was okay. I'm not fond of crazy, wacky cartoons like that. I did film school, and sometimes we would have these Dadaist exercises and just try and be as crazy as possible. And I've never been that kind of person to really enjoy full out crazy non-stop. The Amazing World of Gumball. Oh, those were really gross. Like, it reminds me of Cow and Chicken. I know there's certainly an audience for that. Like, a lot of people like Cow and Chicken. I can't pretend to understand why people like Cow and Chicken. I think it's definitely a matter of taste. I prefer Italian food rather than Mexican. So, yeah. I prefer American Chinese food rather than the authentic, so I think it's very much a matter of taste. Yeah, Cow and Chicken, Two Stupid Dogs, they kind of seem to be from the same kind of style. Like, I liked Samurai Jack. It was a bit more toned down, it wasn't as gross. Oh, Stimpy and what's his name? Hi Anna, how are you? We were reminiscing about cartoons from my childhood anyway. I don't know how old Dracarius is, but I'm pushing 28 and 27, so Samurai Jack, yeah, it was nice, and they're doing a finally they're going to end the series. They brought it back, and it is going to show the end of Samurai Jack's adventures, I think. Is going to be the finale. They're gonna give it a dignified uh, end because it was very unceremoniously cancelled, despite that it had a lot of success. Also, if you remember the TV show Terra Nova, I think it was called. Terra Nova. Yeah, so this was a good TV show. I liked it, but the production costs were so high and they weren't making enough profit, sorry. And they canceled that series. There's been talk about bringing it back, but So far they haven't. Maybe they'll bring it back before people lose interest. What looks weird? There are dinosaur-like creatures. In Terra Nova, yeah. I like Dinotopia. I never know what happened to the series. Well, it got cancelled, that's for sure, of the story. It had a lot of costumes and CGI and stuff, and it wasn't making enough profit, so they shut it down. Yeah. It was cool. I liked the premise, you know. Oh, we screwed up the future. We're going in the past when the air was cleaner and people can start a new life and they're being chased by dinosaurs and they have to cower in fear. And I really like the whole world building aspect of it and having creatures. Okay, bon appetit, Dracarys. I'll be here until 5. Next books on book 2, Niels is going to be a teenager. I'm just gonna make his shoes all black or all gray, because I'm spending way too much time on these details here. And pants, so he won't have even the shoes to worry about. The socks, sorry. So how have you been, Anna? How's it going? I'm about to... I hope I'm not coloring on 2 layers. Oops, Marie color. Damn, I can color on 2 layers? Seriously? That is so weird. Like, I didn't know I could do that. I mean, I know I can cut and paste from 2 layers at the same time, but still it's pretty freaky. So I'm gonna combine selected. Name this Marie color again. Drawing as always. That's nice. Oh, I don't have the... damn. The base, there we go. Combine selected now. Marie color. Yep, so... like I said, I'm gonna have to go back to Europe, and I have so many paints and papers and stuff that I didn't get to use all of it, and now I feel super sad about having to leave it here. Welcome back, Dracarys. So, like, leaving the jewelry behind is not that much of a problem for me, because it's mostly plastic. It's not real jewelry, like, it's tin and wood and stuff like that. It's not something expensive, but all of the golden metallic paints that I have, It just pains me to leave them here, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll give it to someone who also likes to paint, if I can find someone else. And all of my plushies, my toy plushies, probably gonna have to leave behind as well. So I'm gonna give them to the kids of friends. Yeah, but it's really not worth the time. Like, you know, Americans, when you do flea markets, they expect you to sell it like 10% of the price of the normal price, so nobody's really gonna buy it because that's just their mentality. Oh, it's a flea market, then everything has to be $1. While a Grumpy Cat plushie cost me $16, and I got it a while back. So I rather find someone who is a fan of Grumpy Cat and just give them the plushie, rather than just get $1 from it and have to sit all day in the sun to sell it. Yeah, I can send the box with that, but it's super expensive. It's like $600 for no, sorry, $500 for 100 kilograms, and the volume is pretty small, so it's like if I remember correctly, like 1 meter by 1 meter or something like that. So you can't really fit a lot of stuff in it. I mean, for the computers, okay, we can send it like that. But because the computers, you know, they're dense, they don't occupy that much stuff, and they're heavy, so they would fit in that. What's this?
Somebody.
Ow. Yeah, I'm not gonna click on these links anymore, Jacarius, because it opens in the same window. And the sound is not coordinated and it just ripped my ears. And also it might be copyrighted, so I'll get a strike. So please don't send links like that. Because that song for sure is copyrighted. I think if I display less than 30 seconds, I'm not gonna get the strike, but I don't know exactly what their rules are, and if they change them, and how long does it count until it is not okay. So if you wanna send to Anna the link, like, sure, and post, you know, this is not for me, so that I don't click on it. Okay, Niels, and I'm gonna erase those extra lines. Okay, color. There we go. Yeah, so next time tell me if it's not for me, so I don't click on it. or say link for Anna. There we go. So I've gotten to page 22 so far. I'm not sure how the system works on Tapastic, but I think you can get recommended in the daily snack. Like, I often get recommendations from other comics I've never heard of, and some of them are nice and interesting. I wish I knew the views where they come from. Like, if it's only subscribers, or is it subscribers and recommendations from the daily snack? So that's why I use in the thumbnail, I put a snippet from the comic. Because from what I've seen, the thumbnail is what appears as a recommendation in the daily snack. Because initially I just wanted to put the logo of the comic, what Niels has on his t-shirt. But when I saw that that is what appears in the daily snack, I changed it. Yeah, so if you look on the phone, because the daily snack only appears on the Android, like I don't have a daily snack on the PC. Yeah, I was talking to Anna because she has a comic on Tapastic as well. Let me give you the link in case you didn't know. Let's see, where are you, Anna? Okay, there is Saiwala. So yeah, like on the PC, I don't know where the daily snack is. Like, I get these recommendations, but they're from my own comics, and sometimes I'll get recommendations here. I think it's really cool that they do that. Like, I know there are a lot of people that read the comics solely on the mobile phone, because the Tapastic is primarily for mobile. So I kind of try and make it easy for both readers. For some reason doesn't color underneath. But it is easier to color like this though. Okay, so it's gonna move with the let's see, laundry. Okay, so it's a different line. I'm gonna have to move that later, and I'm gonna do that some other time. Right now I want to get the base colors in. His overall shape is good. We'll see better when the speech bubbles are in. Grand Theft Clothes Niels Edition, yeah. Like, I personally would not take the clothing of other people simply for hygiene reasons, but I've had plenty of friends that didn't care in the least bit. And they were like sharing the eyeliner and everything, so if one girl had pink eye, then the whole bunch of them would get pink eye. Which was always funny to me. And in school as well, you know, kids would share sandwiches. They would eat from the same sandwich, two people. um, I always found that to be kind of weird. Like, they weren't spouses. Like, I mean, when you're kissing someone, it doesn't matter if you're sharing a sandwich. Like, you both have the same germs anyway. Kind of married the bio ecosystem, so doesn't matter anymore. But like with your colleague at school and with several colleagues, I'm like, nah, it's a great way to get the cold or flu or whatever other diseases you might have. But I figured that, you know, like Niels is from the future, so a lot of the diseases have been eradicated. So he's less aware of maybe germ danger and stuff like that. Although I don't know if we'll be ever able to like eliminate a lot of the germs. I ran out of Coca-Cola. Oh, we can always go get some more. I'm not sure here where the... So it'll be kind of the back. There we go. And I just have to pull a line there. After one of my classmates said back in 5th grade, if you kiss someone, his saliva rests in your mouth for 2 months, I stopped drinking other people's classes. Oh, yeah, that's like such a typical, you know, childish thing to say. Like that whole 8 spider myth and so on. But you know, at school, some of the kids had gotten chicken pox or lice or stuff like that, so I generally didn't like to share my clothes, especially my hats. And you know, like some of the kids would get upset, like, "Why won't you let me wear your cute hat? Do you think I have lice or something?" And I was like, should I be honest about my thoughts? And be like, no, I just don't want to share. I'm a mean person. But you know, at the end, I never got any lice from other kids, but my brother and sister came from school with lice. I don't know how they got the lice. I'm not sure, Because they said they never shared any hats or stuff like that, so I don't know, maybe the lice learned how to teleport or something. To be honest, I don't even know how kids get lice in a big city, in a developed place. Like, how can you still get lice nowadays? Is beyond me. If you live in a big city. Like, I can understand in a isolated rural area that you might still get lice and other exotic diseases, malaria and so on. But in big cities, like, you don't get, and in modern, I don't know, areas, you don't get malaria anymore. Like June was telling me that her island used to be malaria central, but now they don't have malaria anymore, luckily for them. Because they've since learned, you know, to take better care. And now they have a whole bunch of ways to take care of the insects. Spray, I think. Like, at least where I am, they spray for mosquitoes. So I was surprised that being there's so much wetland where I live now, and like I barely get any mosquitoes. Like, it's negligible the amount of mosquitoes that I run into in the summer. Talk about mosquitoes, and June said that they actually have a lot of the natives in Sardinia have immunity to malaria, which I thought was really interesting. And I remember the documentary about malaria, and there were people in India that because they had so much malaria so often, they also developed some immunity. And the predominant blood type blood group is O, something to kill mosquitoes, yeah. Because people with type O blood have a less severe reaction to the fever and the bleeding from malaria. Yeah, I don't know if it's Mediterranean anemia or what's it's called. Like, I'm not familiar with this at all. There's not much of a malaria issue in Romania, probably because it's colder. And a lot of places are dry. Like, we even have a bit of a desert with, I think the tallest sand dune we have in Romania is 10 meters tall or something like that. Yes, this is near the sea. It's like the smallest desert ever. Înălțime maximă dune nisip, România. Yeah, so it's kind of a man-made problem. But what's the tallest height? Altitudinea maxim. Wow! So the dunes are 300 meters, but that's just the altitude with the soil underneath. I think no, it's no, it says Campiaro Umano. Where's the dune? And the lowest elevation is 10 to 20. Yeah, I don't know what the dunes are, but they don't seem big in the pictures. And this is what I remember as well, something like this. But with a lot of grass in them. This is not in Romania for sure. Welcome back, Dracarius. I was telling Anna about the mini desert we have in Romania. They cut a lot of the trees near the coast because there's the delta, and they wanted to make room for stuff. And like many communist projects, like never came to fruition and just destroyed the environment further. What was already happening due to the Industrial Revolution. The mismanagement continued. So now we have mini desert and mini tornadoes, but they're super rare and they're like really small. I don't think people of Kansas would consider them tornadoes, but Romanians do. Oh, that's not it's Photoshop. I'm trying to find something. Oh, it's in Romanian. It's pretty lame. I don't know if this one's in Romania. Doesn't look like it. Black Sea tornado. Okay, we believe you. Google. And there are also a lot of floods because again they've cut a lot of the forest. But hopefully in time it'll get better and the forest will grow back. I do miss hiking and going through the mountains. I didn't have a lot of time to spend in the Alps. I just went through them on the Transalpinian road, one of them. As I went from Switzerland to Italy, there was just this little sliver of French territory. So that was neat. I got a peek at Mont Blanc. Now this one is incorrect. I will close the Niels layer. Where is it? Niels. Niels on top. There we go. And home. Yeah, so these need to be raised a bit. It's going underneath. Okay, I will. Oops. There we go. And so it's. Come on, take the other layer as well. No. Why? Oh, it's between layers. Okay. Apply transform. Okay. Apply transform. Get on top. There we go. So that would be more correct as the perspective is concerned. And I would raise the laundry, the whole thing up more. Be more like it. And again, color the characters. And he's missing a leg there, so I'm gonna have to make a copy of his front leg. It's kind of sad I'm not gonna get any vacation this summer. Do you guys have like any special plans? Why is it? So I want both of these. And it's pasting something weird. There is no object to transform. Like, what the hell it's doing? I want these two layers, I want this part selected, copy, paste. I don't know what's happening with Clip Studio Paint. Sometimes it does not take commands from keyboard shortcuts always. What is this crap? And what folder am I in? Folder 2. Why didn't it select? Weird. There we go. And it's gonna be behind the laundry. And I'm gonna raise them just a little bit higher up. And I don't need these lines because I want to show that he's hanging on to the clothes line, the clothes, sorry. I wonder what brush Jun used, because mine is not drawing the same thing. Maybe it was a flat marker. Dot pen for sure not. Lighter pencil, maybe. Okay. Erwin leg. Erwin color leg. Color his face. So I'm glad they fixed the pipe problem. Like, I don't have to move, because it would have been really annoying. Because we have to leave in 3 months, so I have to move and then leave. Okay, Anna, take care. no idea how we're gonna transport everything across the ocean. Let's see if I have Erwin's eyes anywhere. There we go. Get the eye color. So he has no problem stealing. Neither did the cat that I had. And if it saw something that it liked, it was like mine. Also, I'm playing with the idea of cat climbing on the drapes. I was lucky my cat didn't jump on the drapes, like it didn't even know what they were. It seemed to be oblivious to the notion, and I think that's because I got the cat from a farm, so it grew up outside. And there were a lot of things that it didn't know, so it just never touched. To my great joy. I kind of missed a little stinker. Was a ginger striped cat. It was the first cat I ever had. Like before that, as a pet, I had rabbit, which was very boring, and before that a chicken, which I can't say it was boring, but it was certainly annoying. It was a very stupid chicken. I don't know if chickens can be anything other than stupid, but they make very lousy pets. My parents didn't want me to have pets, so I guess that's why they got me the chicken. Is this pinker? No, it's not pink. It's the same color. I press the B key and no brush. Is the same? No, it's G. So why is it not working? There's something weird happening with the shortcuts in Clip Studio Paint. I'm not sure, but there seems to be something wrong with them. I'm sleepy. I'm gonna let some light in so I don't fall asleep. Like whenever it's dark, I automatically get sleepy. And like again, some line is missing. Overall, it was a pretty nice day outside today. I'm kind of sad I missed it. And flowers are in the stores, and they're pretty cheap here. Like, you can get a whole bunch of pansies for uh, pretty low cost. Well, compared to the salaries here, um, in other countries with lower income, for sure they would be expensive. But what I do find expensive in the USA compared to like the salaries are the vegetables. And if you want something tasty, it's usually pretty expensive. But fried potatoes, super cheap. Potatoes in general, dirt cheap. Eggs are dirt cheap. Like, the eggs are cheaper than in East Europe. And a lot of people here in the area that I live, there are a lot of religious people, and they have like a whole bunch of kids. Uh, some of them have 7 or 10 kids, like in India, which is really weird. So I can understand why they would need cheap eggs. Like, how do you feed so many kids? I'm not sure what they do with so many kids. Like, are they still farmers? And maybe that's why they need a lot of cheap labor, so they have kids. I'm not clear on that. And I don't know how they have the kids, because some friends of ours that are, the usual Western family, uh, moderately religious. Like, they only had one kid, and for the insurance that covered half of the cost. So it was a total of $32,000. Welcome back, Anna. So having a baby here in Michigan is $32,000. $32,000. And their insurance covered like 50% of it. So they still had this absurd, huge sum of money. And then with these costs, whenever I hear someone asking me, "Oh, you're married, you're this age, when are you gonna have a kid?" And I'm like, when I'll have money, maybe I'll have a kid. Like, crazy expensive here in the USA. And I've had people ask me, "Oh, but why don't you make a baby? Because then he will have American citizenship." And like, I don't understand why that's important. I'm a European citizen, so is my husband, so uh, American citizenship is worthless. Like, I don't see the use for it. For European, why would I want a American citizenship for the child? So it just complicates things. If you're Somali, then maybe I can understand you wanting to have American citizenship. But if you're European, American citizenship just seems like a downgrade. The Italian health minister was such a bitch with her fertility. They do babies for the sake of have one. Oh, please. Is she going to pay for those babies? No, she's not. I really don't understand the mentality of pro family or whatever they call themselves. Like, have a lot of babies, but don't give them an education, don't give them proper health care, don't give them time and attention. Like, don't give them anything, just make them and that's it. They don't seem to care further than that about the child. Păi, sunt la stream. Okay. My husband. No, just 80% a month if you match their rule. Pfft. Like, can you pay for university housing and food and books for 4 years with that money? Or the high school and all of the education and tutoring to make sure that you get in the top, I don't know, 10 universities that have good education in the country? Like, the whole thing is ridiculous. It seems to me like they only want slaves or something. They don't care about the quality of life that people have. They just want them to be there and work crappy jobs that can easily be done by a robot, but whatever. It just doesn't make sense. Either way you look at it, it's just stupid and pointless. I don't think there's any logical thoughts going through these politicians' heads when they spout out the things they spit out. Those $80 just end in milk and baby food. Oh, and the nappies, the Pampers or something. Those are expensive. And if you're working 2 jobs or something, you don't even have time to like clean the nappies, recycle cloth like in the old days. So you need to use Pampers to save time. It's just crazy, and whenever I hear elderly people like, make babies, make babies. I like, don't have the time to. And a lot of the older people, they just made the babies and they leave them be, like, don't care much about what happens to them. A lot of mother left babies to grannies if they work. But grannies also work now. Wow. Yeah, it's hard. Like, I'm not surprised at all that the birth rates are low. And also, you just don't have enough hours in the day, like a child, you have to spend some time on it, ask them, are you doing good in school? Does the child need tutoring because the schools are crappy? So it's not going to pass the exams, therefore you have to take the child to extra classes. Oh, did it? Trace. Nope, it did not. So I'm gonna take this part out. So everybody do a baby and live under a bridge. If you're lucky, the bridge won't fall. Yeah. Like, now a lot of money goes into insurance and a whole bunch of other things. Um, like here in the US, for me and my husband, the insurance costs $12,000 a year. So out of the state takes the money from the university and also from my husband, so they tax for insurance my husband and the university, and it's a total of $12,000 for me and him. And we barely have dental, and even if there is an emergency, that insurance covers only 50%. So they tax the university, they tax the individual, and if there is an emergency, they tax the individual again. So, I'm not surprised that in the US the difference of life expectancy between poor and rich is so different. Because poor people simply cannot afford to go to checkups. They cannot afford to do anything once there is a serious problem. Just mind-boggling. And as a European coming from a country where if you have an issue you're generally insured no matter what, and you just go into the hospital and all you have to worry about is bribing the nurses so they make sure they check up on you every now and then, and if you have a broken leg and can't go to the toilet to change your pot every now and then, so that's the bribe for. Everybody was against him. I don't think he got even from the Democrats any support, because Democrats have companies and insurance and stuff like that also in the medical system, legalized mafia. But I'm glad Bernie Sanders is still talking about it, so maybe eventually people will agree, hey, maybe we shouldn't have these problems anymore. And I was talking to an American guy, and he said something like, oh, when he came to Romania, because his wife is Romanian, he was surprised at the standards of living in Romania, and it was better in some ways than the one in America. And I was like, get out of here. In Santo Domingo, the health system is like the American one. My grandma is sick, and for every medication is pay money. Yeah. like for a lot of things in Romania, because there are a lot of issues as well, so for a lot of things they also have to pay. Like I remember my grandparents having to pay for a lot of medication because it wasn't available in the hospital. And things have gotten slightly better from when they were still around. But overall it's pretty bad. Like money keeps disappearing. Like I think the European Union gave Romanians funds for the hospitals. They were supposed to buy burn burn victim beds. Like these are these beds that are especially for people who have suffered severe burns, and they didn't buy those beds, they didn't have them, and uh, those kids that suffered those severe burns in the nightclub were starting to die because of that. So some of them managed to be flown by helicopter to Germany where they actually had the beds. So in Romania I don't have access to good healthcare because the money is stolen, and in the US you don't have access to good healthcare uh, because you're poor. So it sucks either way. I don't know which countries have it good. Like I haven't lived in Germany so far. um, I don't know if what the standard of living in Germany is. I know it's better than in a lot of other places. I've seen the roads, uh, they're well maintained. I've heard a lot of people complain about stuff, but it just seemed like really superficial issues. Or it was Greeks that were upset with Germany. But here in the US, I met a lot of Greeks that they weren't upset with Germany, they were upset with Greece. That's probably why they left. So, like, they don't blame Greece's problems on Germany, they blame Greece's problems on Greece. But I do think after you live in a country, you kind of get a better sense of what's going on than from just watching the news. Because if you just watch the news and you don't live in a country, you're not probably not gonna have face the issues that people are talking about in the news. I'm hoping that, young people are just gonna get more interested in what's going on with politics. Like, I knew I was totally disinterested when I was a kid, because I didn't have a job and I didn't get to pay taxes. So once you have to pay taxes, you start to be interested about what's going on. When you get your contract in your hand and you see how much money goes to the state, you kind of wonder, well, where is all of that money going? Because I'm not getting the benefits. In Italy, if you want to do a eyesight visit in public hospital, you need to wait months, but if you pay to the private, the same hospital, you get the visit in the afternoon. Yeah. Well, in Romania, I don't think you have to wait for months. Um, it's just that the quality is not always great. I do get the checkup in the hospital usually. But you can get it from the clinic you're getting the glasses at, and it might be cheaper or it might be more expensive. Like, it depends if you get a sale or something. Like in Romania, generally the hospitals are stinky and weird and stuff like that, so and you have to go to the one that you are designated to, so for your sector where you are registered as a resident. And that way it might be on the other side of the town if you've changed locations and you're living with rent somewhere else. So it might be easier to just go to a private little clinic, eye clinic, and they're like everywhere. On every major boulevard you have like 4 pharmacies and one eye clinic where they sell glasses. And I generally go and get my glasses from there, because the prices overall is not that different from the hospital. And for a private clinic I can get like uh like, because they're a private enterprise, they abide by the consumer laws, so they sell me a crappy pair of glasses, I go back with the ticket that I bought it and I demand my money back because they're defective, and they're obliged to give me back my money and get their crappy glasses back. Whilst for a hospital, I don't know what happens there. And I'd rather not deal with that. Like, how do you argue with the hospital they gave you crappy glasses and to give your money back? They have different policies. Or at least they had last time I had to deal with them. I was surprised when I found out that the UK has a very bad health program. Like, I remember 5 years ago, I met a British couple, and they were like these backpackers, so they weren't very rich. And they complained and talked about the whole problems of the health system in Britain. And I was really surprised, and then I kind of checked it out and was surprised that, a first world country has such big issues with the healthcare system, and how they're purposely keeping it very crappy. So they always have an issue to talk about, when elections come. They have something to make promises about. And you know, in Bucharest, the companies that repair the streets, they like would purposely keep some streets broken, just so they would continuously have a reason to ask for funds. They're like, we need this much money this year for our budget because we need to repair street 1, 2, and 3. And they would repair street 1, 2, and then 3 they would leave it broken, and then they would break up street number 2 as well for repairs to sewage, repairs to gas, or something like that. So in the end, if you were lucky, you would get a third of your streets repaired. And you know, even when I was playing the video game Tropico, where you are a dictator, um, if I didn't have martial law, I could have elections, and I needed to win the elections every time so that I would continue to play the game. Because if I lost the elections, I wouldn't be El Presidente anymore. So I needed to win all the time. 50 years in a row, 70 years, as long as I could live. Yeah, checkers to do the... And so I needed to make election promises so that people would vote for me. So what I would do, because it was generally cheaper, I would, because people wanted churches, so I would only make one church, and to appease them. And when the religious factions would get like too upset, I would promise to make them churches, and I would make that church in that year, and then they would like, oh, I kept my promise, so I would win their votes, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Like, and if I had money, I would just destroy something and rebuild it so that I could keep my promise. That, oh, I've done this, so I would destroy something one year and put it back up the next one. Because I had some factions in the country island that were really annoying and asked for stupid stuff that were useless, like churches that were just an expense and they didn't produce anything. Like, schools produced educated people that I could use in the workforce, but like churches never produced anything, they just cost me money. And also the patriots, the nationalists, like they want me to build statues of myself, which at least didn't lose me money like the churches. They only cost once to build. I wouldn't say that educated people are... Yeah, they're more difficult to fool. Like, it's not as hard. Like, some of the stuff that I see religious people buying into is just mind-boggling to me. Like, some things just seem like an obvious lie. Not even an attempt to like trick you, like not even bothering to pretend about it. I think maybe educated people are used to searching, so like they're more inclined to do a Google search. Maybe they're more inclined to check the sources because it's something they're familiar with doing from, from school when they have to write an essay or have to do a paper on something. Because I remember at school, you had to sometimes form an opinion about something. Like you had to form the opinion that the teacher wanted, but still you had to do a little bit of effort into writing that paper. Let's see the color. Like I've seen educated people buying into some really weird stuff that has no basis in reality. Like there are anti-vaxxers with degrees of higher education. So what do you think? They have a secret agenda or something like that, or they just don't care? That there are anti-vaxxers with degrees in higher education, so they are educated people, but still they kind of buy into this notion that the government is trying to control you through vaccines or whatever are the crazy things they're trying to say. And I was surprised how much this movement of anti-vaxxers has caught track in Romania. Like they saw it, oh, Americans are doing it, let's do it too. And now we have a resurgence of chickenpox in Romania and other stuff. Yeah, I saw it. Tree trunk. For me, as the internet was considered a place to find good and trusted info, now everyone wanna be blogger do fake news. Yeah, and it's been the same for books. Like now that more people are using the internet, more propaganda is available. Like before that, propaganda was restricted to books and TV, but now you have it on the internet as well, especially in the last 20 years. It's really caught on with the spread of the internet. Yeah, I don't care what people do with their own kids. It's the social services concern if it's endangering the life of a child. I'm just more concerned with my health. And like for example, hepatitis, you have to vaccinate yourself periodically every 10 years because the vaccination for hepatitis, the immune defense wears off. All of these vaccinations, according to the disease, you have different reactions to vaccination. I was really surprised of this, when I went to a yearly checkup, and a friend of mine told me that she's getting vaccination for HPV virus. And I asked my doctor, should I get a vaccine for HPV virus? I don't want to have cancer in the colon or stuff like that. Read on the internet that if you contract HPV virus, you're gonna get colon cancer. And she was like, I would be less concerned about that and more concerned about hepatitis if I was you. And I was like, what? Wait a second, why do I have to be concerned about hepatitis? And she said, well, the vaccines wear off. Oh, sorry. Sometimes a channel doesn't work. That is why I have 3. One of them usually works. So yeah, she told me that I should get revaccinated for HPV. No, it's okay. The Twitch stream doesn't work, but he can use the chat. He can watch, I guess, on YouTube. Yeah. So YouTube works most often, then Twitch, and p.22 has the most problems. Name of the others what? Let me move this a bit. I also stream on YouTube and p.22 TV. So let me give him the YouTube link. Maybe that's what he meant. how to thin out the line. So simplify, no, correct width, thick and thin. Okay. Ah, no, thin. Scale down, scale down. Nice, I'll look it up now. Good. Let's see if I have a thumbs up emoji here. Ah. Let me know if you have further problems. I'm curious what's on Twitch. Like, cause it worked in the beginning, but maybe it's not working now. It might seem live beginning, but oh, it works for me. So Twitch works for me. Twitch works for me. I don't know what the issue is. I'm not getting any error messages. Okay, and the barrel here. Color it. I like this brown that Jun chose, so I'm gonna keep it. Because I think it works well with the night color. But the wood, I might have to change it because it's firewood and so it's not treated. I'm gonna go look for some British firewood. Hey, welcome to my channel. Well, I'm glad it works in the end. Like, you came at the end of the stream. You have to work late, I guess. So let's see what else I have to color. Finish the grass. Oh, I have the walls and the house. Yeah, it's no problem. I'm glad you came back. I'm glad that you like the stream and you find it entertaining. I'm always happy to create like a really small, nice place to kind of talk to friends and learn about stuff and stuff. I haven't been to a dentist in a while. It's just crazy expensive here in the USA. I think they have different trees, so maybe it's a different color. Oh, it's pretty yellowish. I think it's probably pine because that's cheap and you can find it everywhere. Should be more of like this wall color. actually. And now I have to go to the other panel and see what the color was. So blue, the stone don't look the same. Oh, they do. It's the same stone. So it was okay. Blue, cream, peach, whatever it is, brown. You don't have like an insurance thing, or am I wrong? I have the insurance thing, it's just that it doesn't cover it covers only part of the costs, and even with the coverage it's still pretty expensive. Like healthcare in Romania is a lot cheaper. Doesn't mean it's great, but it's definitely more affordable. It can still be an issue for sure. If you're poor, really doesn't matter in which country you are, you're still gonna have problems. But in some places you have bigger problems than in others. Okay, blue again. Trying to keep the same wall color here. Yeah, I'm not gonna have Trump in 3 months from now on, so it's gonna be even less of my problem. Romania is in the EU and in NATO, so even if the US bails out, I'm not sure exactly what the effects will be. Let's see if it's the same, so it's smaller stone. I think it's this one. And the other one's a peach color. And then a red one. I hope not, honestly. I'd rather not think of that. Yeah, and from then on we will see where else we're going to go. We don't know at the moment. But we wouldn't want to stay in Romania. The social economic situation hasn't been great, like never, and it's not gonna get significantly better overnight. It's just the society as a whole that has a lot of issues and doesn't want to change it. Like a large percentage of the country, 90% of people are religious, 80% are Christian, and the church is very involved with the government finances, and a lot of money gets wasted. Well, depends who you're asking. Like some companies will profit from a war, other companies will not. Like I don't think the Chinese want war because it will damage trade, but other companies might want war because that is what they produce. They produce armament. So they need to always have a war somewhere. Me personally, I would like to move to New Zealand because it's far from everything. Like, New Zealand has its problems as well in terms of economy and unemployment. And also, I'm not a Commonwealth citizen, I'm an EU citizen. So if I will want to move to New Zealand, Commonwealth citizens, be they from Sri Lanka or the UK, they will have first pick of a job because with the visas it's easier to hire someone that is from the Commonwealth than it is to hire from um, some other place. As a EU citizen, it's obviously easier for me to move around within the EU. Like, in an ideal world where there wasn't any war, there wasn't any Russia, and so on, I would love to live in Italy. The weather is awesome. The food is awesome. Um, the sea is awesome. So I would like to live in Italy, but as it is now, Italy is just not far enough from the problems. And Italy has a lot of its own problems. Like, a lot of Romanians have left to work in Italy. Yeah, of course, Germany, one of the biggest weapons threat treat partners of USA and so on. Yeah, I know you have a lot of problems. That's why I'm not itching to move to Italy. Like, every Italian that I've met, they complain about Italy, and I can definitely understand. Like, your problems are very familiar to Romanian problems and Greek problems. There are a lot of cultural similarities. And in the end, if you're rich, you can live very well in any country if you're rich. If you're stinking rich, any problem can be solved. Yes, she's from Italy, from the northern part, and she's a comic writer and a graphic artist. So she's not the rich kind of Italian like Berlusconi. Therefore, she's not happy with the economy in Italy. If Anna was a mafia leader, then I think she would be more pleased with the situation in Italy and be like, I have money, I'm okay with it. Italy's fine. I'm making a project about Italy today. I worked on a map and it went quite well. Oh, that's nice. So what do you do, Don? I forgot what your occupation is. If you told me last time, I don't remember. German school, so it's a project for school, a very random one. So in school, like high school, or Don't Bait is from Germany, if I remember correctly. Which part of Germany are you from? I know there's like separated into Renania, Bavaria, East Germany, West Germany. No, I drew a map myself and put some mountains and stuff. I'm from Rheinland-Pfalz. I don't remember where that is. Let me check. Rheinland. So it's in the western part. So this is the flag, I guess. Rheinland. No, this I think is from a video game. This is the flag. Oh, pretty castles! I like pretty castles. East and West Germany was a thing like 27 years ago. There still is communism in Germany. Yeah, that's when I was born. And because I was born, communism fell. No, it actually started before, like when I was still in conception, under construction. Yeah. Oh, I love these castles. They're so cool. Yeah, you have way more castles than Romania. Like the most famous castle in Romania is Castelul Bran, Vlad Tepes's castle. So this is where Count Dracula lived. Well, it's not Dracula, but something like it. And then this is the one that the Hohenzollern family made. So this is a palace. I don't know why it's called Castel, because it's not a castle, it's a palace. And it's very beautiful inside. And then there was another one in the mountains, like this one. Yeah, always cool stuff inside. Like this was another one, and there was one. What was it called? Something with R, and was guarding an entrance to a road through the mountains, and they got stinking rich from taxes from merchants. Maybe? No. No, cetate, it's a citadel, cetate. Was this one? No, this is yeah, I think this is it. Super old one. No, that's not this one. This looks more like it. Search San Giorgio Castle, Mantova. Yeah, if I ever get to visit you, Anna, please bring me to see the castle. Yeah, you see the crenolines and everything. This is a more modern castle, like this is recent. Oh, look at that view. I wouldn't mind living there, be a princess. With Italian weather. Like, I'm in. Don't need to convince me. Okay, so what was under the red one? Nobody knows. I'll just make it yellow. Schloss Neuschwanstein. Neuschwanstein. Yeah, I think I know it. Like, I can't pronounce it, but I can read it. Yeah, this is my favorite castle in the world. Like, it's so cool. And I've seen a documentary of it inside. And I think they said that the Disney castle is inspired from this one. And I was just like, wow, look at that. And that thing and the other thing on top. It looks like a fairy castle. Don't call on me for pronunciation. Yeah, Neuschwanstein. Maybe I can get Google to pronounce it for me. Like, the Japanese pronunciation is pretty good for Google.
Neuschwanstein.
Neuschwanstein. Neuschwanstein. Yeah, Germans and their crazy long words. Like, they're not that many long words in Romanian, but there are some that sound funny. No, she can't stream because her internet is crappy Italian internet, so no, she can't do any live streams. I approve, Google said it right. No mention, of course, of my pronunciation. I'm glad you were polite and not laughing. Or maybe you were laughing and not telling me that you were laughing. Like, I'm trying to think of weird Romanian words, and I think I found some. So this is a kind of a wild peach, and it's called zarzare. Zarzare. And also, this is popândău. Let's just say I heard worse. This is popândău. But otherwise, a lot of things are like in Italian. Like, there are words that are from Slavic origins, but yeah, popendo. Yeah, like a lot of things are from Italian, just they're pronounced differently. Like, say, like I say buona, you say bueno or something. I don't remember exactly. You say pasta, we say paste. What else? Um, you say tomato, we say roșii. Avem și tomate. Like, farfalla is butterfly in Italian, so it's you're missing an R. Um, Italians say capra, we say capro. Ah, pomodoro. Okay, I forgot pomodoro. Who came up with the tomato anyway? Like, from what? Because it wasn't tomato in the original Indian word either. Can't remember. Germans say tomate? Uh-huh, so you're to blame. But actually it makes more sense. I don't know what the word originally means, but pomodoro means golden apple because originally tomatoes were golden. It's just weird. I don't even know how French say it. Probably have a crazy word for it. Like French call potatoes dirt apples. Like, how can you have less imagination than that? I mean, an apple doesn't look or taste like a potato at all. I guess maybe because it's yellow inside. That's how they made the connection. A meme about Cinderella in Italian is Cenerentola. In German it's Aschenputtel. Yeah, we say Erdbeere for strawberry, but Erdbeere means like dirtberry. Oh, so you have this problem as well. Yeah, I don't think in Romanian we have weird things like that. It's usually more of a Western thing. I don't know. Maybe our words are so old that we have forgotten what they originally meant. Uh, no, Sare de Pietro. No, was it Pietro Veneto? Oh, there was some kind of table salt that was bitter and also a salt. Sare Mara, was it? Yeah, I don't know what this is bitter salt, but I don't know what it's for. Seems like neo postmodern quagmire medicine. Piatracro, okay, sour rock. Sulfate, aluminium, potassium. Yeah. Work women who sell themselves. Putel or Putin in my dialect means boy child. Yeah. Flug, zug, plain flying stuff. uh, yeah, for the most part, Romanians just took the words from other languages and didn't bother to change anything. Like we have computer, computer. Um, Mouse, we say mouse. What else? Plane, we call it avion. which I think is from French. It sounds something French. Ananas, carbuz. Mouse is from German. Isn't it invented by an American guy? The computer and the mouse. Like for film editing, we took it from French, and we have montage. Blueberries are more in German and Romanian. Yeah, well, it's English is a Germanic language. Blueberries. In Romanian, blueberries are afine. And like in English, you have all kinds of berries that are just called berries of one kind or another, but in Romanian, you like have different word for each of it. So you have coacăze, frăguțe, căpșuni, afine, zmeură, goarne. So goarne, I don't remember exactly. Mulberries are mure. Yeah, I can imagine German and English being very close on a lot of things. And Dutch and Scandinavian and whatever else was around. Like, I think they identified a handful of words that are of Dacia origin. So Dacia was the ancestral land before the Roman conquest. And after the Roman conquest, the whole land started speaking Latin, Latina vulgaris. So close I can understand most Dutch. Huh. Well, that's convenient. No doubt. So, if I remember the article correctly, they were saying that Barza is not in any other language that surrounds Romania. But I guess I can do a Google search and see. Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, it's 5:30. I gotta close because I got some stuff to do. Thank you for reminding me, Anna. Because I'm sitting here talking to you guys and completely lost track of time. So thank you for joining me. Hope you liked what I got to do so far. And I will continue this on Thursday. 3 and 5 p.m. Michigan, USA time. Same hours as always. If you have any questions, you can find me on Facebook and message me there. Thank you for watching, and I wish you a lovely evening. Bye bye.